The story begins with the main protagonist, Yudij, a simple high school student who is a huge fan of a very famous idol group made up of 5 attractive boys. She especially adores Taman Fukujira and is so obsessed with him that whenever she sees him on TV, she gets extremely excited, so much so that her family starts finding it a bit strange. One day, she gets a lucky chance to attend a concert and meet her favorite idol. However, to buy a ticket, she needs money, so she starts looking for a job and, by chance, gets an apartment cleaning job. On her way there, she's surprised to see that the client's name is also Taman Fukujira. At first, she thinks it's just a coincidence, but when she arrives at the apartment, she's completely shocked because it's actually him. In reality, Taman is completely different from his stage persona. He's not confident like he appears on stage. Instead, he's quiet, depressed, and isolated. This leaves Yudij confused. Meanwhile, Taman becomes anxious, thinking she might expose his true self and ruin his public image. Yudij, however, is only there to do her job. She assumes he might just be stressed because of his upcoming concert and begins to worry that his condition could affect his career. Gathering courage, she tells him she's a fan and expresses her gratitude for his efforts and talent. Instead of taking it positively, Taman breaks down further, calling himself fake and unworthy. At that moment, Yudij reassures him that a fan's love isn't so easily shaken. To her, he is still perfect, no matter how he sees himself. It is revealed that his bold and charming stage personality is just an act created by his agency. His real self is gentle and kind. Yudij reminds him that he's still the same person she admired from the very beginning. Even so, Taman struggles with his negativity and continues to doubt himself, but Yudij decides she will keep supporting him no matter what. Later, she begins cooking for him after noticing he isn't eating properly. When Taman tastes her food, he's impressed, and his idol persona briefly comes out, which overwhelms Yudij. As time passes, their bond grows stronger. Taman even starts sharing his work-related problems with her. In one situation, he struggles to take natural-looking photos for fans. Yudij helps him by guiding him like a fan would, asking him to pose and act in different ways. She enjoys the moment but keeps herself composed, understanding her responsibility. The photos turn out beautifully, and Yudij says they will probably become very popular once they are posted. This confuses Taman, because his self-esteem is so low that he does not see himself as attractive at all, and even the idea of taking selfies makes him uncomfortable, despite being incredibly handsome. He also feels that since Yudij already saw the photos in person, there is no need for her to look at them again. Yudij gently replies that to her, no one is better than her favorite idol, and that she will never get tired of supporting him. Hearing this makes him happy. Then it becomes time for her to go home. Just before she leaves, Taman thanks her sincerely for everything she has done for him so far. She answers that helping him is simply her job, so he does not need to thank her. But he reminds her that being an idol is also his job, and just as he feels happy when others praise his work, it is only natural for him to praise someone who has done such a wonderful job. He explains that she has not only helped him with the housework, but has also helped improve his mood. When Yudij hears this, she feels struck for the first time by the emotional version of her beloved idol. But Taman immediately covers his face, thinking that he looks unpleasant. Without thinking much, Yudij rushes toward him and asks him not to hide his face, because it would be a waste to cover someone so beautiful. At that exact moment, another man enters the apartment and finds them in a very questionable position that can easily be misunderstood. Because of this, both of them are scolded, and Yudij is banned from returning there after throwing herself at what is practically a national treasure. As the days pass, news about the incident begins to spread. No real names or details are mentioned, only that a housekeeper attacked an idol in his apartment. Yudij knows they are talking about her, and all of her friends and classmates speak badly about the unknown person without realizing it is actually her. Even Taman's photos no longer cheer her up, because she cannot stop thinking about his true personality. Now Yudij also realizes that the same situation could happen again if she does not control herself, so she decides it is best to stop going to work there. Meanwhile, Taman's previous housekeeper returns, so the two of them should no longer see each other. Then the day of the concert mentioned at the beginning finally arrives, and the members of Face give a lively performance in front of the audience. While watching, Yudij compares fans to rocks orbiting like rings around planets. In her mind, fans should circle around their stars and never become meteors that crash into them. With that thought, she quietly says goodbye in her heart to the depressed version of Taman and shouts with all her strength to support her idol. In the middle of the concert, Taman hears her voice among the crowd. After the concert, Yudij is suddenly taken away by Taman himself. There, he asks her why she has not come to see him anymore. She answers that because of her actions, they both got into trouble, and she does not want to cause him any more problems. But Taman tells her that he should be the one allowed to decide that. He also says that his Yudij's dream is to make everyone happy, yet during the concert she looked very sad. He confesses that he is a mess without her and wants her to continue supporting him not just as one more fan, but by staying at his side the way she had been doing until then. Faced with such an earnest request, Yudij cannot refuse and agrees to keep supporting him as always. At that very moment, Animez suddenly returns to normal, and Yudij scolds him, reminding him that he still has more of the concert left to perform and that this is not the time to act like he did in the apartment. Animez leaves to give his all in the second half of the concert, while Yudij apologizes to herself, knowing she will have to remain a dangerously devoted fan who is standing far too close to the star she admires. From that day on, some things begin to change. First of all, Face's popularity keeps rising so much that they are finally going to hold an event where they can meet their fans. This excites Yudij, because she will be attending too, even after spending so much money on tickets that she is nearly broke. To recover her expenses, she must continue working again as Animez's housekeeper. Soon after she arrives at the apartment to work, she walks into a dramatic scene. Animez is standing there with a suitcase, trying to escape from the man who entered before, who is now revealed to be the manager of all the members of Face. The argument irritates the manager so much that he eventually storms out, ordering Animez to keep doing his job. Yudij is the most shocked of all, because Animez had been shouting that he wanted to quit being an idol. When she asks him about it, it turns out that the upcoming fan meeting has made him so nervous that he would rather leave the entertainment world than deal directly with all of his fans. In a meet and greet, speaking to so many fans at once feels dangerous to him, because he believes they will surely realize he is an imposter. On top of that, he does not even understand the appeal of his own character. To him, the whole wild and sexy image just sounds inappropriate. He also knows that when he gets nervous, he sweats, and in his mind sweating is not wild and sexy at all. Because of all these things, he cannot believe anyone would actually buy tickets or merchandise just to come see him. Yudij, of course, feels very called out by this, but she also gently tells him that sweating is normal and there is nothing wrong with it. In fact, she even likes that part of him, and she explains that being attractive is not the same as being creepy. If he truly wants to make his fans happy, then he needs to interact with them too. So she proposes a solution to help him build more confidence. He should study himself. More specifically, he should review all the notes she has carefully made over the years about his idol persona throughout his career, his interviews, and everything else she has observed. All of Animez's interviews, concerts, comments, and everything he has ever said are carefully recorded. He understands how his character should be, but if he wants to be convincing, he must truly internalize it. For that, he will need someone to test his interactions, and the one who steps forward to support him is Yudij. Of course, it is easier said than done. Every time Animez acts in his bold and sensual idol persona, Yudij becomes overwhelmed to the point of almost fainting, as it is clearly too much for her. Animez does not want to push her too far, but she, on the other hand, feels genuinely happy to support him. She remembers how, back in middle school, she was going through a difficult time, and the only thing that gave her comfort was watching him. He was her source of happiness, and now she wants to return that support to him, even if he never knew about it. After many hours of practice, it seems that everything for the meet and greet will go perfectly. The day of the event arrives, and everything goes as planned. Animez impresses everyone with his charm and presence, and the fans who pass by him are amazed. Yudij feels a bit jealous seeing this, but she reminds herself that he belongs to all his fans. Just before her turn, a group of fans in front of her gets into a heated argument. Yudij could have tried to settle things peacefully so everyone could enjoy the event, but instead, she ends up shouting at them to be quiet, which only makes things worse. As a result, all of them are removed from the event by security. She loses the money she spent on the event and has to earn it back by working again. At her workplace, Animez is already there waiting for her, upset that she did not come to see him. Nervous, she lies and says she did go but forgot her ticket, so she was not allowed inside. Animez insists that promises should be kept. He stands up, holds her by the arms, and tries to recreate the fan moment she missed at the event. In that moment, she asks, out of a hint of jealousy, if he could act that way only for her for a second, but he refuses because his social energy runs out, and he returns to his usual gloomy self. When he drops the act, he honestly admits that he was upset because she did not come. He truly wanted her to see his performance, especially after all the effort they put into preparing for it, and he wanted her praise. Yudij cannot help but feel moved by his sincerity and sweetness. Once again, it is this vulnerable version of him that touches her the most. A few days later at school, Yudij and her friends talk about how Face is becoming more and more popular every week. However, with that popularity come risks, especially during fan interactions. There is always the danger of rumors, paparazzi photos, or fans reacting badly if they suspect someone is getting too close to their idol. Her friends even joke about extreme reactions, which makes Yudij realize she must hide her connection with Tam-en at all costs. If they ever found out, it could end badly for her. Later, at Tam-en's place, a new problem appears. He is going to be on a well-known TV program where he has to model his own clothes, but he only owns his usual black hoodie. Yudij tries to reassure him, saying that not being fashionable is not necessarily a bad thing. Still, she believes it would be a waste not to highlight his good looks, so she suggests they go shopping together. Over the weekend, they go out to buy clothes. Since Tam-en is very famous, he hides his identity by wearing a bag over his head. For Yudij, this outing is very serious, as she remembers every outfit, comment, and impression he has received throughout his career, and she carefully chooses what would suit him best. After shopping, they take a break at a restaurant that Yudij often visits with her friends. There, it is revealed that Tam-en rarely eats at places like this because he does not have friends, and he also does not get along well with the other members of Face. Then, to make matters worse, her energetic friends suddenly arrive at the restaurant and approach her. She quickly tries to cover the situation by saying she is just hanging out with a friend, but they do not believe her. Instead, they assume he must be her boyfriend and ask him to reveal his face. Rather than exposing himself, Tam-en grabs Yudij's hand and quickly takes her away from the place. From the outside, it looks just like a secret date with a celebrity. Once they are alone, Yudij kneels and apologizes sincerely, feeling that she has overstepped boundaries and put him at risk of being exposed to fans and paparazzi. Tam-en then lifts his mask, switching back into his idol mode, and Tam-en asks Yudij to stay quiet and listen to him. He reminds her that he was the one who asked for help with his clothes, that he enjoyed their time together, and that they did nothing wrong. He thanks her sincerely, and those words fill Yudij with overwhelming emotion. The outfit they chose together is later highly praised on the TV program. On another day at Tam-en's apartment, Yudij finds him collapsed on the kitchen floor. After helping him recover, she asks what happened. It turns out he feels guilty because she always ends up doing more than what her job requires. He tried to cook for himself but failed badly, creating something inedible, and even begins to think he should pause his career until he learns to be a functional adult. Yudij immediately stops those thoughts, reassuring him that he can improve with practice and reminding him not to neglect the happiness of his fans. Her words calm his emotional state, and at that moment, the manager, Fuyaba, arrives and praises her for helping stabilize Tam-en, something that is not easy to do. He admits that Yudij's presence has clearly made a positive difference in Tam-en's life, as he is now working harder and performing better. The manager asks about her duties as a housekeeper, and she explains that they adapt to the client's needs, including tasks like shopping or running errands. When he mentions going out together, both Yudij and Tam-en become embarrassed and apologize, but unexpectedly, the manager himself ends up apologizing. He explains that the agency is still small and lacks enough staff to properly manage all members of Face. Because of this, he gives Yudij permission to support Tam-en more freely, even beyond typical duties. Left alone, Yudij realizes she now has the freedom to help with Tam-en's professional life as well. She decides to support him in every way she can, even if she is just a fan who happens to be good at her job. While cleaning, she receives a notification about a new post from Tam-en. Seeing his casual photo makes her excited, and when he notices, he tells her that she is fun and special to him. Later at home, she reflects on those words, wondering if he only said them because she is his fan. She remembers how, back in school, she was seen as boring and unremarkable, until she found comfort in supporting him during a difficult time. She convinces herself that it is enough to simply support someone else's dream, even if she is not special herself. Meanwhile, she watches a concert on TV and notices that Tam-en is wearing the necklace she helped choose. When he kisses it on camera, it suggests that it truly holds meaning for him. Later, during a special program, Tam-en and another member, Ori, appear together in a light-hearted segment. Meanwhile, Yudij watches happily from her room, still unsure about what the necklace moment really meant. Back at Tam-en's apartment, he struggles with creative block. He needs to prepare for an unscripted talk segment with another member, Ari, and is worried about staying in character. Yudij looks at his script and finds it lacking, but learns that his real concern is the unscripted part. To avoid breaking character, he is writing an additional script within the script. Through this, it becomes clear that he and the other member are not actually close and only interact professionally. This realization deeply troubles him, as he feels he is betraying fans' expectations. Instead of criticizing him, Yudij praises him. She calls him someone capable of making fans dream, despite dealing with his own insecurities and putting in extra effort to maintain his image. She recognizes how much he truly cares about his work and his fans. After encouraging him, she prepares dinner and leaves. While walking home, she thinks about what new dish she could cook for him next. Lost in thought, she accidentally bumps into someone. The person who helped helps her up turns out to be Yurisa Kaguchi, another member of group. He comes from a well-known artistic family and has been in the spotlight since childhood. With his background, talent, and charm, he is known as the prince of the group. So friends, this part 1 ends here. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure to hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss an update. The next part is coming very soon, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching.